Wagwan family, another beautiful day. Woke up blessed and refreshed. Read through a couple chapters. The first is First Chronicles, chapter 11. Talks about the story of David, how he came to be. And one thing I keep seeing whenever I read about David is just, it's easy to focus on how blessed he is, how fortunate he is, but it all stems from his deep love and intimate relationship with God. He puts God at the forefront. Obviously, he's human. There's things that he goes through, and he does have to suffer the consequences of it. But ultimately, anytime you see the story of David, he's the textbook hero. You know what I mean? And it just comes from, it says, David's a man after God's own heart. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the direct results of that. So I always think that's incredible. It's more genealogy stuff still. I think it's going to get into more of the structure of the story as time goes on, but I'm still in that. So I'll focus today on Titus. That's the New Testament reading that I had. I'm on the first book of Titus, chapter 1, verses 15 through 16 is what stood out to me. So it goes like this. It says, "To the pure, all things are pure, but to those who are corrupted and do not believe, nothing is pure. In fact, both their minds and consciences are corrupted. They claim to know God, but their actions deny him. They are detestable, disobedient, and unfit for doing anything good." This is so Paul here is writing to Titus, basically encouraging him to rebuke people who are failing to do God's work, basically. And he goes through a different series of people who do that. But he says amongst them is the people that claim to know God, right? And those are the worst of them, because it's like you think you're saying that you know God, but your actions aren't lining up with that. You're not. You know what I mean? They're not matching up. And so he encourages Titus to rebuke them. This is not the way. We've talked about it before. Faith without works is dead, ultimately. And that's a big thing in recovery that we talk about. Yeah, I can believe to be sober, but if I'm not doing it, what's the whole point? You know what I'm saying? That's the same. I like to use those as a good example of what it means to say that you're Christian, but not live it out. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I fell victim to that. I shouldn't say fall victim, because that doesn't take accountability, but I think that I bought into that idea. Growing up, I was Catholic, so I went to church. Growing up, I believed in God. I called on him when I needed him. But other than that, I really didn't have a relationship with God. It was completely transactional. And then on top of it, I wasn't really living it out. I was going out, I was partying, I was using hard drugs, I was irresponsible with women. You know what I'm saying? I was doing a lot of things from the outside looking in, I wouldn't be considered Christian, right? And so that one definitely struck a nerve in a good way. It was a conviction in a good way. But also, I know other people believe in that too. And so just to clear some things up, I think this was a good passage to read. It says, for the writing portion I said, "Heavenly Father, to be aligned means my actions matching with the divine. See the magic happen. Belief ain't a transaction. Keeping up with practice. Seeking out the masterpiece that's everlasting." All right, so have a good one, y'all. Be safe.